Hey team, Wade Wyant here with Red Wagon Advisors. And over the past few months, I've been asking myself, what can I do to help, especially last month as things in this world have just continued to get more and more stressed around race equity and some of the challenges we still have here in the U.S. In that, some of those challenges are being seen around police reform, education reform, and even judicial or the court reforms and the way we work with people. And I really can't do a lot there other than vote with my dollar and vote with my vote. And I was trying to figure out, as a business leader, as an entrepreneur, as a consultant, a coach, someone who works with businesses every day and does a lot of advising, how could I help? How could my team help? We thought the best thing we could do is listen. And I wanted to put my words into action. And so we've gone out, we've reached out to some business leaders that I know, African American business leaders that I know in the community, and I've asked them to do a video series with me where I'll just be mostly listening, talking a little bit, but mostly listening and asking some key questions around what can businesses do better and how can businesses help. We cannot necessarily go in and reform the police, but we can give suggestions, we can give ideas, we can make recommendations, but we can also do other things. And I wanted to hear it directly from the community that's affected the most. And so I've gone out there and done the interviews. And so this is one of those interviews, and I really would ask you to tune into other ones and see what we were able to collect, some of these ideas. And more than anything, listen and take notes, because I think there's so much more as business leaders we can do. We just don't always know what to do. So I appreciate you watching this video, and I can't wait to get your response and hear what you're doing to try to help along some of the challenges we have here in the U.S. and just to make things better in general. So as business leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, what can the businesses start doing today? What actionable things we can do to make a difference?
I think the first thing a business needs to do is kind of do an evaluation, a self-evaluation, to understand what does the current environment look like for their business, like from a diversity standpoint. And then if you can kind of analyze where you are and know where your organization is, then that will allow you to expose some areas in which you need to improve as it relates to diversity. Because I think one of the first things that you need to do is understand, do we get this well, or is this an area where we have room for improvement? And if we're like many enterprises, there are specific areas within it that you can improve, then from there, that gives you some actual items that you can look to research on to understand exactly what is it that we should be doing to get diversity right. And then I think once you have like that set of information that identifies, here's where my organization sits, this is where we are, these are the challenges that we have, I think you then have to educate yourself on what that data reveals. Because based on what that reveals, then that allows you to understand, what do we need to do? Where are areas within our organization that needs to be analyzed from our processes and procedures, and have we been doing enough to actually increase diversity within our enterprise, and are we getting that right? Because if you identify that you're not getting it right on the onset of bringing people in, then that also allows you to kind of analyze those areas and define some specific things that you can do within your enterprise to ensure that when you are onboarding people, all the processes and things that you need to do to make sure there's the right amount of engagement to get the most diverse set of individuals within your organization is taking place.
Yeah, it's again, and I want to listen here, but I also want to emphasize areas that I think that I've gotten wrong and that I'm seeing other business leaders get wrong, because I do get a chance to work with a lot of business leaders, and I think you're so right. And the reason why I think you're right in a lot of ways, but one of the things I've identified after hearing this from you and others is, I can think back to businesses I've owned and businesses I've been in where we didn't assess. What we did is we made an assumption that, we look pretty good. Like, yeah, we've got some minorities in the business, and we've never discriminated, of course, right? But we never assessed either.